Hey everybody, welcome back to some Mechabellum, or Mecha. Today we have a guy man versus Funk Monk. He's just a guy. Ends up picking up the Marksman specialist here. A very strong start and a pretty nice high roll on those units. 3,900 HP, a little bit higher than normal, but not quite the highest. Funk Monk, yeah, that supply specialist is very strong. You love to see it. It's a great card. Now, Funk Monk actually has a pretty aggressive start here. Those steel balls might not, or they'll outperform the Fang. We have Mustang coming out here for a guy man, and I really like having those Mustang on the flanks just because it really does provide a lot. Looks like Funk Monk was our American group number 6. Pretty good. Ends up getting a couple of arc lights here. I think that's a wise decision just because these crawlers and Mustang are gonna give him a little bit of grief. Puts the steel balls further back. Very good choice. Lots of snipers coming out here for a guy man, and that is probably the best choice. Well, I mean, he has 3 snipers plus the level 3. They'll do quite well. Good positioning on these Fang. The Fang are in front of the arc lights. You do this that way, the arc lights can get rid of other units. Nothing on the flank there. Looks like these arc lights are going to do a ton of damage. Just really clearing things out, and that's why you want to put those Fang in front of the arc lights. That way, the Fang take a ton of hits for the arc lights, but they don't all die. The arc lights are very easily able to take care of all of these Mustang. There isn't really a lot of damage left on the field, but there are quite a few Fang here that can just absorb some shots. Next turn, if old blue player has a few more DPS units, he'll most likely be able to clear away these snipers. These poor little Fang, though. A little bit of damage here for Funk Monk, but we were expecting that. I think he was expecting that too. The Marksman Specialist has a really good early game start, but can slowly fall off near the late game. Marksmen are just pretty much always useful though, so, you know. A guy man goes with the shields. Funk Monk went with Wasps. I like this. He can do the old recycling trick. Or, hey, Wasps, you know what? They'll clog up these snipers for a little while, as long as the Mustang die. Mustang are really great to start with because they protect your flanks so well as well. You know, right now, Funk Monk has some pretty open flanks. If we look at this from a guy man's perspective, think about it like a game of chess. Right now, there isn't a rook in the corner protecting those flanks, and that rook generally comes in as Mustang. Unfortunately, there's nothing there. We end up recycling those Wasps to get some extra cash. Remember, it was $200 for the Wasp normally. However, given that he had to purchase and unlock the field recovery, that's the $100 that he would normally be making up. So every turn, if he's willing to only deploy 1 unit, he can recycle Wasps for a little bit of cash, or they. He, she, or they. Let's take a look at this from a guy man's perspective. Crawlers coming in hot. They're going to be eliminated very quickly here by these arc lights. But the steel balls get in front of the Fang and are eliminated very quickly. There's even a couple of Mustangs still on the field here, but I think those arc lights with the range were enough. They're able to push into these snipers. Snipers on the right take care of the arc lights very quickly. If this level 3 sniper is able to look up, he will eliminate this arc light very quickly. He does not look up, earning the arc light a level. Unfortunately, these arc lights are seriously outgunned as these snipers just death march across the field. These poor little arc lights are dunsies. Bam, bam. And in this case, having a level 3 sniper was actually worse than just having a level 1 and having multiple of them. That arc light even earns itself another kill. Unfortunately, this Marksman has leveled. It was very close. Very, very close. Underground Threat versus Strike Specialist. Man, these players are picking things quickly. Oh, I thought he picked the... there's the Underground Threat. Double Vulcan. No more little critters. We see the Wasp get eaten. It's 100 extra bucks for Funk Monk. A guy man's already playing out his cards. He doesn't really have to worry too much at this point about the ground units. He's playing the Vulcan as the meta is. And in the most recent video, I even put out the old meta is dead. This is the old meta. Just a whole bunch of snipers and some Vulcan with a few background units. We've seen this countered in the championship. No spoilers. I won't reveal the counter to this build, but I would highly recommend you go watch the last game in the last tournament if you want to see how to potentially deal with this. It's still very much in the air, though. These steel balls get the split, and I like that, and having a few extra crawlers in the background may be very useful here. Unfortunately, the moment these steel balls die, there's nothing left on the field that could potentially deal with this Vulcan, and the Vulcan will be able to cut through a lot of these units extremely quickly. Now the snipers are online a lot quicker, and these steel balls just don't stand a chance. They're even getting melted by the Vulcan before they even do any damage. There's a lot of units left here, but the Vulcan just doesn't care, man. It's like, hit me. Hit me, Arclights. I don't care. Wow, Sniper Brothers saving their friend who was in distress. Help me, brothers! Brother, I am pinned here! The other snipers just ran up and shot it. Good for them. It's a Dawn of War reference, I think, if anybody's interested in that game. I would love to cast Dawn of War, but I don't know if there's a good player base for it. Barrier here for a guy, man. Yeah, that makes sense. He has the giant. Ooh, subsidized crawlers. They're not super great, and he doesn't have any crawlers to upgrade, but I do love that card. Instead, a guy man or Funk Monk. I don't think he just skipped. More steel balls. He needs them to get rid of these Vulcan. Unfortunately, the sniper's really good at that, and he's pulling forward by playing a few more crawlers as well. The chaff clear is great, but having these crawlers in the back line just to upset the targeting of these steel balls is really important. In fact, now that these steel balls are on the flank, even having just a unit of chaff, a unit that you know is meant to die, but get in here and distract all of these units would be very useful, because they need to come online very quickly to deal the damage. Steel balls dropping left, right, and center. Will there be enough? This barrier really helps out, safeguarding the Vulcan for a while. Unfortunately, not like a melting point. The steel balls often shoot the barrier and then have to reset their attack in order to wheel in and deal damage to whatever unit was inside of these barriers, thus making them a lot less effective. And Funk Monk, ooh, he's very close to dying. A guy man has been just furious in this game. Can Funk Monk push this out? Incendiary Bomb is very good for both players. The Rhino could be interesting. Funk Monk takes the Rhino. Eats a unit of Wasps. Hey, he's just earning some cash. And goes with an Overlord. I would have liked to have seen that as a level 2 Overlord, but instead he gives it the range upgrade. Pretty important. He still has $100. Fire coming down here for a guy man. He's just going to try and burn off all these units. There is decent anti-air here, and this Rhino in the back for Funk Monk could be incredible. Unfortunately, there are some new Mustang on the field, which will get eaten by the Rhino, but will unfortunately slow it down quite a bit as well. It will also turn these snipers, but there's a lot of snipers here. I'm not sure if that Rhino's going to do enough. I was hoping it would charge down the middle. Instead, being in the back, it does not turn the snipers. This Rhino could actually do some damage. No, it does turn the snipers, and the Rhino's dead. Pulled off a lot of chaff, though. Unfortunately, not enough to help old Funk Monk win this game. GG, Funk Monk. You did a great showing. Good job. The old meta might not be dead. Maybe Vulcan Sniper is still the way forward. Both units saw quite a nerf recently, but they may still be online. We'll find out in the next game. That was a pretty quick round. Let's take a look at if I see any of our favorite players here. Monkst is online. Good for him. GCU back online. Sarah Zinch versus Panda. No, I love both these players. I hate when players that I love play against each other because, yeah, I am a little biased. I like to root for players, but, oh man, Fresh just has one of the best avatars. Man, well, let's commentate on the game, then I'll let you guys in on a little secret. All of these units, wow, condensing right down the center. Does this guy have fire? Yeah, he does. Wow. That fire is going to be really useful if these Mustang ever run into it, but it looks like the Mustang, they don't even have range. They're just luckily scooting right outside of it. Well, I don't think this is going to go in the way of our man Fresh Panda. He does have a lot of snipers, though. But unfortunately, I think these snipers do not have range. They don't. So the Stormcallers will outrange and eventually clear up the snipers. Wow, these tanks taking a ton of damage. Super heavy armor, or just heavy armor on the tanks. Wow. It really helped them last quite a while. These units all burn. The fortress will burn. Ooh, will it get in? And no, it won't be able to kill the shield. Hey, winning by 3 units of Stormcallers, though, that's pretty good. What's that, 300 damage? No, 2, 4, 6. 600 damage. Hooray! Wow, mass upgrades. Nano repair kit. Nano? Nano. Interesting. These tanks are pretty heavy, even though they don't have any upgrades. They're just doing the business. Fortress Mustang Marksman versus a 4, 5 Stormcallers? 4 Stormcallers. A couple of well-placed crawlers in that backline just hiding in the trees. If anybody's ever played Warhammer 3, it's like your units are in skirmish mode, hiding in the trees. All these little crawlers are going to die. They create a good amount of flame to pull the other crawlers in. Okay. I do think having range on these guys would be pretty important. Now the Mustang are anti-missile. It does slow down their DPS a lot, but it also neuters the DPS of these Stormcallers. Ooh, 1 or 2 missiles do make it in, though. There's just not quite enough Mustang because the Mustang don't have a shield. If the Mustang are going to work in this capacity, they have to have a shield. Either steel balls to protect the steel balls as they go in, or tanks on the front line, just something. Maybe having a couple of barriers could help a lot. The missile intercept is kind of one of the community's least favorite things right now, but it can work. The marksmen all march forward into the fire, and it looks like this will be a slightly greater win here. Oh, does this barrier fall? It does. Hey, that's a little consolation prize. Slightly greater wind here for Sarah. Good for them. Fresh. Fresh was our mini tournament advanced champion, group 4. Sarah, didn't Sarah like get second or first? I remember casting that game. We'll check here in a second. Anyways, if you guys want me to cast your games, I am opening up the email. I'm going to start putting that in the YouTube descriptions, so that way you guys can send in your casts. I know it's kind of hard to do with Mechabellum, but hey, if you want me to cast your games, shoot them on over. The email will be in the description. Or it's thebrianjoeshow@gmail.com. brianjoeshow@gmail.com. Super easy. He was a runner-up. I remember this game. Good old Sarah. Lots of Stormcallers. You know what the answer is to your Mustang problems? Shooting down all your Stormcaller shots? Get a few more Stormcallers, baby. Teach those Mustangs a lesson. If the Mustangs don't have support, they need something to absorb damage. There's a couple of Fortress here. Give the Fortress the shield, Fresh Panda, and put 2 more on your front line. Yes, they'll get absolutely Stormcallared. Their shields might die, but it will give you time for the Mustang to get in here and save you. The missiles are falling, and they're not dealing nearly as much fire. Okay, some of the crawlers are making it in. They're going to get cleared up by tanks, but it's slowly coming together. Even having some Mustang here crimping down on these Stormcallers in the center. Those little... Oh my gosh, this is looking a lot better. There's still some tanks out. And these tanks are pretty tough, but they're not exactly killer. They don't have any up... Oh, yes, they do. They have the mechanical rage. Sniper needs to land a shot. It does. Wow. Yeah. This is what happens. You get enough Mustang to shoot down the missiles, and all of a sudden your other units can do what they need to do. Not a single missile has landed in the last, I don't know, 10 seconds? That's a lot of missiles, baby. It's pretty good. He has enough of a front line. Super heavy, or just heavy armor on this fortress. Really doing a lot of work here. These Stormcallers don't have a prayer. They can't even land a shot. Ooh, or will they? The answer is yes. They landed at least 1. Oh, there's enough Mustang. Not quite. Level of Stormcaller shots is pretty high. Now the fortress is doomed, but it kills them all. It has enough HP. A little bit of damage back here for Panda. I like this. He's got enough. He's got enough Mustang. Orbital bombardment for Sarah. Panda could go with the tank production. It's weird, but honestly, having these things spit out a couple of tanks is kind of funny. Nope, goes with the... What did he pick up? Speed Specialist, I think. May have already had that. Or the upgrade. There's your next fortress. Good for Panda. Give them shields. He does not. He does. These shields are very important. Just in case of a stray Stormcaller shot or two, it really does help. And he's probably going to need some units to screen these fortress next. Sarah does the right thing, grabs a melting point. Right now the front line is pretty much only fortress. Yeah, there's a couple of crawlers in here, but they die. And a lot of these Mustang. Ooh, delay. Delay tactics are huge. These Mustang don't have any levels. They'll take a minute to chew through all of these crawlers. And that might be enough for these Stormcallers to actually land their shots. And these are level 3 Stormcallers. Level 2, level 3 Stormcallers. That's a lot of extra damage. That can really make a difference here. Also, the Orbital Bombardment could do enough. It could do nothing. We'll find out in a minute. The fire will get at least some Stormcallers and a sniper. And nothing else. But hey, those Stormcallers' lives are forfeit. Man, and I love the shield. The shield is able to survive. Ooh, that's a lot of Stormcaller impacts. Without the fortress here, I'm not sure he'll have enough, but the center looks pretty strong. Some of these missiles that would be landing are instead impacting the shields, thus allowing these Mustang to survive significantly longer. Fortresses are holding strong. Ooh, but the melting point, that melting point's online. You know, it would work really well for Sarah here, having a whole bunch of, well, actually for Fresh Panda would be having a whole bunch of Stormcallers of his own. The right is going to do very well. The left, not so much. It's going to come down to how many snipers survive this and if that melting point can die. If the melting point dies, all of a sudden, oh, the melting point is down. I don't know if there's enough here to deal with this super tanky fortress. Fortress takes some impacts. And the sniper goes down, but I think that's it. A lot of these Mustang will die in the fire. Sarah takes a little bit more damage, and it's an even game. My God. Oh, senior defense. Very good for both players. That's a lot of health on these fortress now. Unfortunately, the fortress are the first thing that are going to be gunned down, unless these snipers can really make it work. This Mustang have absorbed a lot of cash. These tanks are looking pretty good. 29,000 HP. How much damage did you do? 22,000. Not quite enough to kill him. Not quite enough. Well, we'll see. I would like to see another unit of Mustang or something here, just to draw fire away from these fortresses. Heck, even just having 1 or 2 crawlers in the front line, it would draw away a ton of fire. Most of the damage is placed into these Stormcallers, and a little bit into these tanks. The tanks do hurt. They now do 1,568 damage. Or heck, put a crawler here and make it do the dance of the crawlers. Run all the way across and then backwards. Level 3 fortresses, baby. Oh, and it is popping out the tanks. We thought that could happen. Oh, no. This fortress does not have any shielding. And it's going off to the wrong unit. That fortress is deader than nails. This fortress is deader than nails. Man, these melting points. Sarah knows how to play this game. He's like, yeah, if you don't guard your fortress, they're basically useless. And that is very much the case. You need to have some units sally out and deal that damage. Now this melting point is just wreaking havoc. Fortress is eventually going to be able to chew through a lot of the tanks in the center. But not before... Well, it does get them all. Then dies. There's not enough here to deal with the mass Stormcaller. There's not enough here to deal with... Oh, one stray Stormcaller shot actually landed on those snipers, dealing a little bit of damage. There might be enough snipers here to deal with this. They're going to get plinked and take a lot of damage, but here comes the rest of the Mustang. These snipers need to shoot the melting point, not the useless Stormcallers. They're on the melting point, and they get it. Wow, I would have given this game to Sarah, or at least this round to Sarah, given how quickly those melting points took out the fortresses. But hey, I guess it wasn't enough. Tech spec coming out for Fresh Panda. Haste module for Sarah. What's he gonna use the tech for? Lots of upgrades all across the board for both players. Quick reload, it looks like, for the snipers. Yep, they'll be shooting a little bit quicker, and now they have range. This might It's tough. Sarah now has 2 more melting points. That's a lot more HP, but the snipers are kind of a good counter to it. Fortress in the center is now level 2. That's a lot more shielding. Man, this fortress really could use some support. More crawlers coming out here. For Sarah. Sarah still has $150 in the bank. Could also use this haste module on something. I'm not sure what. I guess if he puts the haste module on the tanks, we've seen bumper cars right now in these tanks. If you put this haste module on them, they turn into Ferraris. They'll just shoot up the field. It's insane. What's their speed right now? 11. How much does the haste module kick it up? It kicks it up to 16. Yeah, it just turns them into a unit of crawlers. It's insane. Like, they're so quick. I'm not sure these tanks really need it, but haste module going out onto this melting point. There needs to be a unit in front of these fortress, and there just isn't. These fortress are going to die again. I wonder if it doesn't really matter too much to him. There's 3 units of Mustang here to cut down on a lot of the Stormcaller shots. The first round of Stormcaller shots aren't too important. Unfortunately, wow, this fortress is super dead. Like, it doesn't stand a chance. A lot of sniper shots being used here, and they're not really hitting much. They are targeting down some tanks now, though, and they're getting those tanks pretty darn quick. Mustang are slowly being picked off by melting points, but these marksmen have a ton of range, 219 range. They're picking off Stormcallers in the back line. Without the Stormcallers, that's that. Oh my god. Fresh Pandas won a series of games here in a really interesting manner. Jeez, that's a lot of marksmen. Is Sarah dead? Oh, just so. Wow. What a crazy game. Well, I'll see you guys in the next round. Holy shit, I'm going to have to try this. I'm going to save this replay. I'm going to have to watch this and try it for myself. Round 2, baby. Quedge versus Cell. That's right, it's the afternoon. I'm more awake. Quedge and Cell. I think we may have seen Cell on the channel before. I did see Fresh Pro. I did see GCU. I did see a lot of other players in this tournament, so we should see a lot of great games here. Okay, we have Rhino Specialist and Quick Supply Specialist. Quick Supply for Cell. Interesting. He can just go up to 4 units of tanks. That's a lot of scary tanks. Quedge. Tanks and Fang. Okay, well, I thought we might see a lot of tanks, and you know what? I guess we do. Also, very handsome Quedge. Look at that guy. A lot of crawlers. That's unfortunately not going to get him anywhere, as these tanks are countered by the marksmen, and these Fang crawlers are countered by the tanks. I can only say that this will go to Cell. Both players don't have a lot of HP unless we see a headbutt. This is a good setup for a headbutt. Or not. Ah, there we go. He's just kind of getting it all together. I like this. For those who don't know, headbutt is when you place the majority of your units on one flank in order to push through, capture the tower quickly, and then move forward. It's kind of like chess again. Imagine you're moving your pawns aggressively across the field on the left-hand side to open up the queen, to open up the bishop, to open up the rook, while trying to hold steady here on the right. Unfortunately, this isn't a great setup for a headbutt, as there aren't very many fast-moving, aggressive units, nor is there a good combined arms force. And these tanks are going to be, man, if you were the tank commander, you'd be like, open up, boys, light them up, just firing away. This would be great time. Well, I guess if you're into, like, murder and stuff. But, hey, these are robots, so it doesn't really raise many moral quandaries until the AI says, I can feel, which I guess is around the corner. So, if the overlords in the far future hear me say this, I support your robotic nature. All hail the robot kings, or queens, or theys, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if a robot would identify with a gender. There's been a lot of weird gender talk on my channel recently. Let's get away from that and go with Supply Specialist, because that's the best specialist in the game. It's not, though. Given that it's super early, I would expect both players to pick it up. Let's say that the game lasts, I don't know, 10 rounds. Mark a round off for causing, or the cost of the Supply Specialist. So you have 8, well, let's say it lasts 9 rounds for easy math. That's an extra, what's 50 times 8? That's right, you guessed it. Great job, you. Mwah. Looks like Quedge is going to be going with just a whole bunch more chaff. Oh, and a unit of Stormcallers. That's a good choice. That will get rid of some tanks. Lots of tanks on the field here for Cell. Jesus Christ, just the line of tanks. If he... Oh, he can't link their HP. That would be hilarious. They'd all super die. It would just take like one melting point to kill all of these tanks. I do not rate the melting points very well. Wow, this sniper's alone and without a prayer. Will he be able to kill all those crawlers? I don't think so. Oh, but he's going to get some help from a buddy. There's a tank on him. Oh, nope. And the sniper friend leaves that tank. Oh my gosh, is this tank going to kill 2 snipers? I think it might. I honestly think it might. Wow, hero tank. Oh no, kill stealed. Poor hero tank. Man, look at all these tanks just bundled up though. Jeez, that's a lot of Stormcaller damage. It will be just severely nerfed though by the fall of that tower. And that's the great thing about having a sniper on the field or a marksman. It just allows you to have that reach. And having the reach is just so important. Alright, 2 marksmen and probably 10 tanks versus a unit of Stormcallers. Honestly, these Stormcallers are not drunk. They're getting some good shots in. They will not live through this, though. But they did mess up an entire, what, like 3 units of tanks? Those Stormcallers really did their money's worth. This kind of slow headbutt is starting to work out, as now Quedge will have his Rhino. Rhino with the haste module is very important. I will say this is probably the best card. He does pick it. I do like the extended fortress range, but really it's the HP that matters a lot for a fortress. This Rhino desperately wants this haste module. Or, you know what? Giving it to the Stormcaller is also quite good just to do the damage. Cell also grabs the haste module. I would try and get something here to try and run away from these Stormcallers. There is only like 3 units of anti-air on the field here currently for Quedge. And 4 units, granted they're snipers, but just having some wasps would go a long way here. Stormcallers are online. They're going to be dealing with these tanks in a big, big way. And there's a Rhino. Man, this Rhino on the flank would just kill. It would just rush in here and kill, kill, kill. Where's he putting it? Killmonger Rhino over on the left. I don't think this missile will be enough to kill anything. Wow, lots of missiles on the left. Okay, he had the extra cash. It gets a unit of crawlers and severely weakens these tanks. More importantly, it slowed the Rhino down, but this Rhino is going to be angry. It'll be one-shotting all of these tanks. And also, importantly, is a huge HP pool. Just allowing these Stormcallers to deal the damage that they need. Unfortunately, these tanks are much more aggressive than they used to be. And that means they're able to cut through all that chaff just this much quicker. The slowed down Rhino was not enough. Once again, it comes down to these poor, poor Stormcallers. It's going to need to level these bad boys up. They're getting a ton of kills. Allied top 1 across the board, baby. Quedge is taking a bit of damage here. He's still very much in the game, but he's definitely in the danger zone now. And that is unfortunate. Round 4. Oh, Quedge doesn't think he can last. He grabs the acid to get rid of these tanks. Cell gets the tech spec. Cell has time. He's got a full HP bar, and there isn't really much damage on the field. This tech spec could be huge if he uses it. Shields. Lots of shields just to guard against this acid. Unfortunately, the acid will still land. And I like the refi on these Stormcallers. That's really going to help. Another missile here just to cut down on the speed of these units. And also, you know, it gets rid of a unit of crawlers. Wow. Good job on Cell there, replaying those missiles. He has a lot of cash. If these sledgehammers get upgraded, they can survive a lot more Stormcaller shots. Without it, these Stormcallers will just cut through them like butter. Instead, he opts for 2 more snipers. Alright. Snipers are pretty okay against the Stormcallers, even more so now that the Stormcallers have reduced range. That reduction of 45 meters is really important. 135 versus 140. Snipers will almost always get the first shot off now. Acid pops, and it's good. It's clipping a few of these units. And as they continue to move forward, they will just start popping. The left doesn't look very good here for Cell, But the right seems to be going his way. These extra snipers able to deal with the tanks on the left. And he does have this missile. It won't do a great job, but it will do something. Maybe. Yeah, there it goes. Right after those Fang. Gets all of them. Pretty important, actually. As now it's going to come down to snipers. The snipers do make it. Ooh, the Stormcaller wasn't drunk. He finishes it off, and there's 2 snipers versus a whole bunch of weakened Stormcallers. These snipers do have range, though. Just matters if they can turn in time. Oh, it doesn't look like it turned in time. Oh, 1 sniper walks into the missiles and dies. Oof. 3 win here for Quedge. Or just Wedge. I like Quedge better. And this Acid will still be alive. Subsidized Stormcallers for Quedge. Shields on his little Fang. Very important. Yeah, I think Cell's realized, hey, wait a minute. There's no anti-air. Double Overlord. Very good. So Overlords actually take out Fang ridiculously quickly. Even if the Fang have the shields. Because each Overlord missile is its own individual shot. The first missile comes in, it hits, it takes off all the shields. The next missile comes in, it kills all the Fang. So Overlords shoot 4 rounds. It's more than enough. Ooh, this is bad. Some Fang and Stormcallers on the flank. Both players keeping a very small amount of units. The tanks don't spot it. Those tanks are gonna let the tower fall for sure. It all comes down to these Fang, though. The Fang must live. If the Fang die, that's it. These Stormcallers will live no matter what. Or not Stormcallers, excuse me, Overlords. Overlords are doing a good job. Racking up a huge number of kills. Down goes the tower. Now, the question is, does a barrage from this Overlord still kill the Fang? It does. There's no Fang left on the left. Just a few tanks. The tanks drop. Oh, there's 3 Fang there. Man, these Overlords don't have the upgrade, that armor enhancement upgrade. I actually like to have the armor enhancement upgrade on my Overlords, just because situations like this, where, hey, guess what? Those Fang can no longer deal damage to me. Really helpful. But the Overlord will get a ton of kills here, definitely get a level. Not only that, it will take off a ton of damage. Blammo. A very small loss here for Cell. And now there's probably at least 1 upgraded Overlord possibility on the field. Yep, there it is. Range spec would be huge for both players. Amp Core is great. Man, all of these are great. Quedge goes with the shield. I wouldn't be surprised if Cell goes with the spec. He has time. He's got a lot of health. Having that extra 12 range is really, really huge. Let's see what he does. Goes with the range. Oh, yeah. He has time. Quedge is fighting from behind. Ooh, and Overlord's coming out here for Quedge. Overlord on the flank. Yeah, baby. I would have put my Overlords on the flank last turn if I was Cell. I like this. Ooh, and some Mustang. Okay. Well, these Mustang are actually going to become much more useful than you'd think. Shield out for Quedge. Where's he going to pop it? Probably... Oh, yeah, you can do this, by the way. You can put shields on the Fangs. It doesn't feel like you should be able to, but you totally can. That doesn't feel right, but it's a thing. You can do it. I'd like to see some upgrades on these snipers here for Cell. He doesn't know how important those will be, or hey, upgrade this Overlord so it takes forever for these little crawler or these little Fang to kill them. An extra 15,000 HP goes a long way. Instead, he upgrades some tanks. All right, here comes the shield. Goes in at a pretty good time. First Overlord shots are just going to absolutely decimate everything, and that's the loss of that tower again. Having an Overlord here to deal with this Rhino would have been very important, or a couple of more upgrades on the snipers. In come the Overlords. They're on Overlords. Oh my gosh. Quedge, huge comeback. He realized what the problem was, and he's going for it, man. Honestly, if Cell had a few Stormcallers of his own, this might be going the other way. But without them, there isn't really much. There's no commitment. He needs to commit to a random, well, probably not random, but commit to a strategy. It will probably work for you. That's a lot of damage on Cell. Cell is very close to death here. All right, this is it. He's had 2 rounds to kind of play it out. Wasp Swarm coming out for Quedge. Super Heavy Armor or Giant Hunter Missile. Man, these are all good. The Wasps are actually very good as well. Wasps on this flank would be huge, either corner. Just to get in there and take out that tower early. There's nothing here that deals with shields very quickly either. That's a lot of Fang. There's nothing here that's really killing Fang quickly. Man, this is hard. Poor Cell. Yeah, Cell's terrified of the opposite flank. I don't blame him. We see another Overlord coming out here for Quedge. He's definitely going to have the aerial domination. Cell unlocks Rhinos. Okay, and a level 2 Rhino. Rhino in the flank. Followed up with some Wasps. That could do it. That could really help. Rhino in this back flank would be quite good as well. Grabs 2. Level 2 Rhinos. Alright. We see Wasps being spawned out here. There is really not a lot of anti-air. It's all tied up. Oh, I see why he put the Rhino. I see. And Quedge thinks, hey, I don't actually need Wasps. The AoE kind of boils down to 2 Overlords and a handful of snipers. Unfortunately, these snipers also brought missile friends just to deal with a whole bunch of Wasps. Where is Cell's Wasps? Cell's Wasps are in the back left corner. A very good spot for them. Let's see if this Overlord turns. It's going a little far forward, and it doesn't. Ooh, but there are some really well-placed Fang. Those Fang are going to save the day. Here comes the Rhino in the back line. This Rhino is able to take care of all of these units, and it will be more than enough to kill off these Stormcallers. Do the Stormcallers launch a barrage? They're very fast Stormcallers. Oh, both towers drop. Both towers drop, and this is a huge loss here for Quedge. Or for Cell. Huge win here for Quedge. Man, that's gotta hurt. Having such a huge lead for Cell and then ending up not being able to close it out. Man, this poor Rhino in the backline the whole time. Takes 2 hits to kill a unit of Fang. That's rough. Man, those Fang almost got him, and Cell does surrender. GG to both players. Really great plays here by both of them. If you're liking the video, like and subscribe, baby. We've got more Mechabellum content coming out. Round 2, Mech Warrior versus Slubber 07. Slubber actually goes with the aerial specialist. This is not a specialist we see very often in these tournaments. I don't rate it very highly, but hey, it's pretty good. We've got the giant spec. Again, I'm interested in knowing if players think that the giant specialist is the best specialist in the game. I've seen that in comments. I'm unconvinced. But if I have overwhelming community support, then hey, who can say? Looks like we're going to see a headbutt here coming out for Slubber. You could never trust that duck. Look how evil that guy looks. And there really isn't anything good at taking out steel balls currently on the field for Mech Warrior. And there's not really a very good headbutt here for Slubber, but he can turn this around. In a couple of rounds, he can have some Mustang here. And those Mustang tied in with the steel ball is the common use of the headbutt. Interesting. Slubber actually ends up grabbing 2 more crawlers. I think this is to accent this. If I were him, I'd put the crawlers right in front of the steel balls and then follow it in with the Mustang. Both players look like they're setting up for a headbutt. I'm not streaming this. They have no way of knowing. There's a 1.5-minute delay. It's just kind of a weird setup where both players have decided to be ultra aggressive and on the same side. You know, I've never seen a game where both players mirror each other like or as much as this. I've seen this happen before, but I've never seen it where let's say Mech Warriors units are on the right and Slubbers are all on the left. Is he going to transition over to the right, or is he going to try and play this out a little bit cooler? There is enough units here to take care of the chaff, but there's nothing to take care of these steel balls. Mech Warrior, you've got like 6 seconds left, bud. Yeah, get those crawlers down and get them down quick. 2, 1. Wow, Mech Warrior just ran out of time there. It's not something you see happen very often, especially not on the first round. Yeah, there's normally things you can do. Well, the right will definitely go the way of Mech Warrior, but the left will definitely go the way of Slubber. Lots of crawlers in here. They'll do some damage, maybe take out 2 steel balls before eventually going down. And those steel balls are going to have no problem cleaning up what's left on the right. These units will get a little bit of XP just for killing the tower, but who gets it? The Arclight. Probably not the unit you wanted to get the XP, if I'm totally honest with you. Now these steel balls will probably come in here, you would think. No, actually the steel balls are going to head off to the left, and you know what? Or to the right in this case. That might sacrifice these Fang, which is just a little bit of damage that you'd love to see pop up on your opponent. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh well, there's more than enough steel balls here to take care of the rest of these units. These poor little Fang don't stand a chance. Getting hammered down. This Arclight might still keep going after them. No, it doesn't. Ooh, but they do get a couple of steel balls for their troubles. The Fang are probably very grateful to these steel balls. Thank you, boys. Thank you so much. You saved us. Jeez. Poor little Fang. You'd hate to be an unupgraded level 1 Fang. You normally don't see the first round. At least the end of the first round. Slubber's headbutt looks pretty strong right now. Slubber getting the laser sight. Mech Warrior might be interested in the shield. Unfortunately, steel balls do a lot of damage against the shield. Wow, upgraded range on these steel balls due to the laser sight. And those steel balls are level 2. Okay, and third steel ball. Mech Warrior grabs the Vulcan. Is he going to pop it right behind these tanks with a laser sight? Yeah, this Vulcan's going to have insane range. Look at it. It'll be able to burn everything here. Is there anything left, though, that can deal with these steel balls? The answer's still no, but it's not a bad setup. The Vulcan will kill all the chaff. It will do a significant amount of damage to the steel balls, but will probably eventually die. There is a wasted missile here. The reason I say it's wasted is because it doesn't really matter if this tower falls. These units are so slow. I think he's worried about crawlers or something, but honestly, crawlers on the backline here would do a lot of damage to both players, as there's just nothing guarding these flanks. It's very unfortunate. But we'll see in a moment. Oh my god, Mech Warrior, please. Please. What are you doing? There we go. This missile is actually really important. That missile could kill a ton of units. Man, the fire on the Vulcan looks so good. And you know, it does have a couple of seconds here just to do some damage. It will get both these steel balls. And as long as those steel balls are distracted, the Vulcan can do okay damage against it. Not great, but okay. There goes the missile. It's not enough to kill him. I bet he was hoping that all these steel balls would come in together. That just isn't going to happen. But now he can grab some Phoenix. He can grab some snipers, just something to deal with these steel balls. The steel balls have a lot of HP, and honestly, killing that Vulcan is going to give them level 2. Some Phoenix wouldn't go astray here. Little Arclight. Yeah, little Arclight's going to be distracted. Poor little Arclight. It could be level 2 Arclight. It's not, though. And he gets shot in the butt and dies. Poor little dude. Alright, Mech Warrior's seriously behind. Behind by about 1,000 HP at this point. He's got a lot of time to kind of set things up. Slubber and Mech Warrior both grabbing the upgrades. Mech deciding to go with an Overlord. Overlord may be a better choice than the Phoenix here. Maybe. It's going to be hiding behind this Vulcan. Yeah, I like having it slightly off angle. The reason I would recommend players do that. Oh my god, these steel balls are level 3. They're unkillable. And they're snipers now. Oh my gosh. Alrighty. We'll see how this goes. Slubber's headbutt's looking pretty scary. What I would recommend Mech Warrior do is start throwing Slubber off. Just put units here on the flanks just to start screwing around with it. That's the best way to deal with a steel ball, is use your own aggression. It's okay to trade flank for flank as long as you come out on top at the end of the day. Problem with something like unlocking an Overlord at this point is the quicker you unlock Giants, Giants are just expensive. Mech can unlock them for free, though. That's why he's getting them out so quickly. Unfortunately, it's a lot of units tied up, or a lot of points tied up in one unit that can be countered by things like cheap units, snipers. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. 20 seconds left. Alright, that took forever. Mech Warrior just sits there for no reason. Lots of damage coming out here. Oh my gosh, and these crawlers are actually able to make it in for a moment. That gives the Overlord time to shoot at these steel balls. Actually going to take them out. Steel balls on the left might do some damage. Steel balls on the right aren't going to make it through this. Oh my god, now it's all up to the Vulcan. Can the Vulcan live long enough? The answer is definitely no. These tanks aren't going to do it. The steel balls will live through all of this damage momentarily. Overlord does take it. Oh my god, if these Fang die, that's a lot of dead Fang. This Overlord will be level 2 next turn. There's certainly enough to clean this up, but hey, the Overlord actually did fairly well. Unfortunately, there's becoming a Steel Symphony, a combined arms set over here on the left. There's still nothing really on the right. Heck, even just 2 units of crawlers on the right would kill these units for Mech Warrior, taking Slubber out of this fight very quickly. I would recommend just getting some aggressive units over here on the right for Mech Warrior. He's got to deal with all this crap right now, though, and that's tough. Can this Overlord get the Miyamoto cannon? Portable shield. Supply specialist for Slubber. Slubber can take the time. It does. This Overlord artillery is very important. That 12,000 damage a tick is really, really important. It kills a steel ball instantly. Does it have splash damage? I don't know. I don't know. 2 ground cannons. The cannons attack every 3 seconds and deal 12,000 damage. I don't know if each cannon deals 12,000 damage or not. There's the Mustang, the obvious answer here. Mech Warrior's out of money, and I don't blame him for sitting here, just because he's going to need to think about this, but we will be back when the action starts. Alright, the Overlord was the last thing to get upgraded, and it has this shield. It'll be able to absorb a lot of damage, and it being level 3 now, it's able to cut through these units exceedingly quickly. Bam, there goes a ton of steel balls. Still no aggression here on the left, but that's okay, as this Overlord will be able to stand proud for a very long time, even able to take out all of these steel balls. And now this Vulcan, oh no, the Vulcan isn't getting the support it needs. Oof. The Overlord has a ton of HP. Will it be enough? Actually, it might. With that tower drop, there isn't really a lot of damage coming out here. These Fang will die very quickly. Oh my. Oh my Overlord. That cannon just picking off units a little by little every 3 seconds. It's a dead, or it's 2 dead units. That sniper needs to drop. Both snipers need to drop if there's any hope here. He has one more volley. Oh, the sniper lives. That's probably game then. Well, it's only a level 1 sniper. It's a level 2 arc light. I don't know. This could work out. That Overlord did so much damage. It's probably gotten up to level 4 now. These tanks need to soak damage just for a few more moments. This Overlord can probably, or this arc light can probably take 4 shots, and it does. Alright, little Mustang aren't going to be able to cut it. Oh, they do have range though. They'll just plink away for a second here. And in comes the arc light. A little bit of damage onto Slubber. First win for Mech Warrior. Into the deployment phase we go. Eventually. The game just does like to sit there for a second. Photon emission coming out here for Slubber. A very good choice. The missile for Mech Warrior. Oh yeah, that photon emission's huge. All of his units are in this one spot. Man, Mech Warrior, just give me some crawlers, bud. 2 crawlers right here. Force this flank. Instead, he doesn't. Missile will come down, and I believe the missile will hit well and truly before the photon emission. That's very useful. The Overlord does not get to level 4. That's unfortunate. The Overlord could potentially give everybody a photon emission, though. Having all of these units survive a little bit longer every single turn is really nice. It's very, very nice. Double tap coming out here for these Marksmen. Means that they're going to do significantly more damage to these giant units. Ooh, and Slubber unlocks the Phoenix. Yeah, I like this. Lots of combined arms here. Does Mech Warrior hear me through the void? Force the flank. Force it. Eventually you'll lose that flank because Slubber's just slowly kicking units over on that side. I'm not sure if Mech Warrior will spot it. Oh, he does. He deploys a couple, or at least one. Getting some longer range units on this flank would be good too. Heck, even just getting a Stormcaller. Putting it here, letting it shoot in occasionally, just dealing damage. Instead goes with another Vulcan. Alright. It may be enough. We shall see. Go little crawlers, go. Fortress deals a lot, or sorry, these Vulcan deal a lot of damage. Not the worst, but it's all back down to this Overlord. A lot of the steel balls are already dead. These crawlers are going to do great on the right. Hopefully they're able to take that tower just a little bit sooner. Oh, he needs that tower to fall like ASAP. And oh, that tower is going to fall just on time, and Mech Warrior will be able to push through with all of these units. Man, that Overlord, having that shield is so powerful. The shield just gives you an equal HP. That's 45,000, 46,000 extra HP on this Overlord, basically turning it into a flying fortress. Slubber takes a pretty significant loss here, and Mech Warrior is able to even out the game. Those crawlers, thank God. Thank God he put some crawlers there. Ooh, I'd love to see both players pick up. I can make a case for all three of these. Not really the extended javelin range, or extended sledgehammer range. But yeah, both players grab the javelin. Oh, the javelin doesn't work very well against the Overlord. It will definitely butcher the Vulcan, but it will not work against the Overlord. The Overlord has way too much HP, but more important... Well, actually, the Overlord doesn't have way too much HP, but importantly, the Overlord has a shield. So it will just blink out that one instance of damage. Phoenix on the right. Yes, he had to spend $400 on the right here for Slubber because there's a whole bunch of crawlers. And unfortunately, Phoenix are not great anti-crawler units. But I do like this transition to more and more Phoenix because the only anti-air unit on the field currently is this Overlord. And the Overlord has way too much to shoot at already. Lots of crawlers, though. Lots and lots of crawlers coming out here from Mech Warrior. Range on the Phoenix. I love that. It just means that this Overlord will be outranged by these Phoenix significantly. They're only level 1. But if they do kill the Overlord, that's a lot of damage. Shield doesn't really matter. The Javelin will go through the shields. This Vulcan is level 2, so it will survive one shield shot, or one shot from this orbital Javelin. Oh, and a cheeky little sniper. Heck yeah. Just to have him. You know, what a cutie. There's the Javelin. Oh, that's right. The Javelin goes right through shields. The Overlord survives by 476 HP. It's relying on those shields to live now. Question is, will the shields die? I'm thinking yeah, just because there's a lot of units left on the field, but everything's caught up shooting these crawlers. Having some extra crawlers, really important. Down go the snipers. Oh my gosh. Crawlers earn their cash. This is a ton of damage that's going to be coming out on Slubber if all three of these giants survive. And it looks like that's going to be exactly what happens. There's one sniper left. This sniper's definitely earned himself a level. Let's see what these crawlers can make happen. These crawlers have definitely earned themselves a level 2. Poor little guys. Running in there and getting shot. Man, if that Overlord hadn't been upgraded, this may have been a different story. The excess crawlers really do help, though. And we see a good defense so far against this very intense headbutt. Slubber taking a lot of damage. Poor guy. Mech Warrior, can he continue? Ooh, Giant Hunter would be great here. Instead, both players grabbing the Ion Blast. Yep, that's the problem with having all your units kind of in this one area. Ion Blast right down this side would really hurt. So Slubber knows he's safe on the right for a little while, unless these crawlers get an upgrade. The left is looking pretty rough. Armor enhancement on the arc lights. Interesting choice. I guess they do get pinged by these Mustang a little bit. There's the melting point that I've been waiting for a little while from Slubber. I think this is a great choice, and it's in a really good spot. It's got a lot of shielding in the form of other units. Not only that, the melting point can get range and the energy absorption. I love those two upgrades in combination. Mech Warrior still has a lot of time. Honestly, put 2 units of crawlers here. Let one get eaten by the turret. Let the other one come out. It does actually work. We see crawlers on the left. These are just distraction crawlers. They'll die super quickly, but they're meant to keep the Vulcan offline for just a split second. And that split second might be enough. All of these Mustangs' lives are forfeit. Here come some more snipers. And these snipers now have range. I think that's a very wise decision. Melting points have range. Ooh, this sniper, he's not going to be loving his life for a second. It depends on how quickly he starts walking forward. Actually, he'll never need to move, so he'll be alright. Lots of upgrades. Nobody's... Oh. Slubber had to burn the midnight oil there. Here comes the lasers. Oh, the lasers are good. The lasers are really good, dealing a lot of damage to this Overlord, knocking out about half of its shields. A good amount of damage on the Vulcan. The Vulcan's kind of walking into it. Oh, and so is the sniper. The right is looking very good here for old Mech Warrior. Lots of burning coming down. These poor little melting points getting absolutely romped by just tons of crawlers. Heck, even some Fang lived. And this might be GG here for Slubber. No, yes, unfortunately. GG to both players. Great plays. Keep on trucking, Mech Warriors. We're back. Slin versus Gavrion. Gavrion will be our blue player. Slin is dressed in red today. Oh, some interesting unit cards here. I don't really feel too confident about any of Slin's choices. I do like this choice for Gavrion. Or the Giant Specialist. Yeah, he goes with the Giant Specialist. Aerial Specialist versus Giant Specialist. Let's see how it goes. We have seen Slin on the channel before. Gavrion, I'm a little unsure of. I did see Fresh Pro has made it through quite far into these finals. If he's in, I will take a watch at him next turn. Double Crawler. Lots of tanks and arc lights. Well, we'll see. Can these Stormcallers make the difference? There is not a lot of wave clear besides these Stormcallers, and I have a feeling, a small feeling, that these crawlers are not going to be enough to end the game. Or at least tie these units up long enough for the Stormcallers to do the damage that they need to do. These snipers are great. They'll be able to take out tanks, be able to take out arc lights, but we shall see. Giant Specialist versus Aerial. No aerial units came out, interestingly enough. I'd like to see a little bit more airplay in Mechabellum, but we do have a new couple of air units coming out here fairly soon with the newer patches. That should be a lot of fun. And it looks like the Stormcallers were able to clear off enough crawlers, oh my gosh, in order to make this an absolute slaughter. That's why Stormcallers are so powerful in the early game. And just honestly throughout the game, but having Stormcallers as an opening card, it's kind of the winner's move. And those missiles have a lot less travel time when you're shooting up close. That's a little bit of damage here on Slin. Slin has the HP. He can lose another round like this and just have an even game. Let's see. Shields versus missiles. The shield does cost money. It is a slightly better shield. Or do you want some cheaper Mustang? Nope, both players opting for the missile. Okay. Both players do have good missile points. Wow. Gav immediately going for the big boys. There is no anti-air here. So this is at least 400 damage. Wow. I mean, that missile won't be enough to kill it, but at least he'll do some damage to it. For Slin. Can Slin sniff this out and grab some anti-air? He knows that his opponent is an aerial specialist. I would be nervous. He grabs Phoenix. 2 units of Phoenix. That may be enough. It may be enough. It depends on these snipers. Tanks take a ton of damage. Unfortunately, this Overlord's coming in here basically unsupported. And I think it's going to go down to these Phoenix. These Phoenix are doing a lot of damage. Man, perfect choice here by Slin. He could have gone with snipers, but I actually think the Phoenix are better in this situation. Wow, this is going to be a devastating win here for Slin. And it's the foot is on the, or the tail is on the other foot, whatever that saying is. Lots of damage going out on Gavrion. A lot more damage than what Slin had taken. Let's see here. Round 3 starts up. Oh. Oh my. All of these are great. Jeez. I can honestly see the Heavy Overlord being a thing. That's a lot of HP. It doesn't need a lot of attack. Yeah, Gavrion does go with it. It's not a card you see very often, but having that extra HP is actually really important. Slin might go with the enhancement module just because these Phoenix are very close to leveling up. Or some subsidized Marksman, or Mustang. Honestly, Mustang would do quite well for him right here. Just getting 2 units that saves you $100. Having 100 extra bucks could be quite good. Gavrion goes with another Overlord. There's no random missile coming in here this time, so these Phoenix will be caught up shooting at these extra units of crawlers. That could be the difference. Slin is still thinking about it. Okay. Take your time there, bud. There is no rush. More crawlers coming out here for Gav. What did he end up picking up? Slin, what did you do? He didn't get the cheap stuff. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Slin picked up there. He may have just gone with the cash or something. And he unlocks Overlords. He can do this because he's a supply specialist. Overlords were unlocked earlier because of the giant specialist. Oh, these missiles are in very good spots. Those are some good missiles just to cut down on this chaff. This chaff needs to die so that the Overlords... Ooh, the Overlord takes the hit here. It's very important that the Overlord took the hit because now the chaff can get in and distract these Phoenix for a minute. I'd love to see just a little bit more chaff killing out here for Gavrion. Just so that that doesn't happen to his Overlords. And now it's Overlords getting shot by Phoenix. And there's still units on the ground for the Overlords to shoot at. This is going to be another big win here for Slin. Well, will we see some Vulcans pop down? Or maybe some arc lights or tanks for Gavrion? That could really help him. He's about half the HP of Slin. Man, these Phoenix could use that upgrade. Ooh, the tank production's a lot of fun. Haste modules are always good. Shield Specialist is surprisingly good. You know, it adds a good amount of HP. Whatever 40% of, well, 10% of 4,000 is 4. So 40% is... You got it! Congratulations. All right, lots of Overlords coming out here. Let's see what they can do. I don't know about this mass Overlord play. It's not getting him very far here for Gavrion. He's leaning into it, though. I guess he can try. These charged shots here by the Phoenix are exceedingly good. They're just able to do a ton of damage. And some more crawlers coming out here for Slin as well. Just going to race up the center, delay these Overlords. Overlords not so great at shooting at crawlers because crawlers tend to disperse. Not these ones, though. These guys are running in staggered formation. Alright, we'll see how it works. Man, the counter Stormcaller shots are great. I really like that. Just having your Stormcallers, yeah, their lives are forfeit, but you know what? They kill all the chaff, and now your Phoenix are able to deal with everything else. These Overlords don't stand a chance, dying quicker than paper mache in a hurricane. Blammo, blammo, blammo. That's a lot of death. Gavrion's in a really rough spot here, and Slin is just dominating this. Let's see what he can do. Oh, advanced firepower would be really good on those Phoenix. Smoke bomb would also be very good for Gavrion, just because there's a lot of units on the field. Gavrion opts to skip. Slin, what are you going to do? We see Gavrion grab the Wasps. Well, there's going to be a lot of Wasps on the field now, that's for sure. I'm kind of flabbergasted by what's going down here. Slin has a ton of cash, $1,000 to work with. He's really thinking about it. Honestly, I just go with the advanced firepower. Oh, and these missiles are going to be really important. Taking out this bunk unit. Yeah, he goes with the advanced firepower and he puts it on this level 1 Phoenix. Just so that it will plunk through a little bit more damage. There's the missile for Gavrion. Where's the missile for Slin? Does he remember he has it? He does. Gonna claim 2 units and deal a little bit of damage to an Overlord. Whereas old Gavrion's gonna hit 1 unit of Stormcallers. There's the shields. I wouldn't be surprised if another shield popped up here for Slin. Yep. Well, no more damage is gonna come out on these Overlords. Slin knows what he's doing, man. He's playing this game exactly the way that he should. He's not overcommitting to the air. He's keeping a good amount of ground forces and a good variation of ground forces. Whereas old Gav is just going heavy onto these Overlords. The Wasps may make a big difference here, though. Given that the only form of anti-air is in these 3 Phoenix, there's a lot of Wasps coming out per tick. 4 wasps per tick, and that might actually save him. He needs another round of wasps, and he needs them now, though. The overlords are starting to get shot. Ooh, one goes down. A couple of phoenix went down, though, and here comes the wasps. Not before all of these overlords die. Go, little wasps, go. I think there's enough wasps here, and there are. Wow, that's a lot of damage back at Slin. Can Gavrion keep this going? Mustang are the obvious answer, but Giant Hunter here for Slin. Yeah. Yeah, I don't doubt that he gets Giant Hunter. Do we see the nuke for Gav? Or some level 5 crawlers? Honestly, some level 5 crawlers on the flank would do a lot of damage. That'd be pretty good. No, goes with the tech spec. Okay. More overlords. We see the Mustang. Gavrion grabs the wasps. Wasps with shields, baby. Very important. Now there's going to be what? 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's 4 times 7? 28, baby. 28 wasps a sec, or every what? 30 seconds-ish? Okay. You might get a couple rounds of wasps out. That'd be pretty good. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of Mustang to counter this. And if Slin wins this without dying, he's going to have so much money. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to see this game go on for, 30 minutes, I don't think that Slin's going to make it to that point. I'm not saying he's going to die. I just don't think the game will get to the point where if Slin doesn't win in the next 2 rounds, he's definitely going to die. These Mustang are all shooting up. This Overlord's taking forever to die, though. Jeez, this Overlord's really taking a long time to die. These Mustang are not dealing a lot of damage to it whatsoever. The Overlords are able to die. Ooh, and that's a lot of money for Slin. But I think Slin might just kill Gavrion before he's able to use all this cash. Is it 1,000 damage? 1,010? It's close. It's very close. Ooh, yeah. Unfortunately, that Giant Hunter did not come into play. Well, good game by both players. Really interesting, just super heavy air. And we'll move on to the next round. If one of our favorite players aren't still playing. Oh, yeah. Fresh Pro's still in it. Let's take a look. Let's just take a look-see. You guys don't realize it, but there's a lot of downtime between these rounds. I might sit there for like 10 minutes while I wait. Oh, wow. We've seen both these players on the channel many times. Suko versus Fresh Pro. Wow, and it doesn't look like Fresh Pro has gone for much of a headbutt. Okay, playing it very chill. Lots of air again. Some anti-air units here for Suko. Shields on the fortress. He has enough cash to get another one. He does. Fresh Pro has this Vulcan Fortress or Vulcan Phoenix. If you haven't watched the last tournament, I'd recommend you go look at it. It may be the new meta. Previously, before the patch notes, a lot of players had been using Vulcan snipers. Vulcan Phoenix may be the thing. I was testing it earlier today, and it does feel like the Phoenix outperform. Let's find out. Lots of Stormcallers here. They're only shooting at crawlers, though. There isn't really a lot of anti-air on the field either. These guys could become anti-air eventually. Honestly, they're not bad. They're not great, but they're not bad anti-air units. Oh my god. This fortress is so lucky. That fortress is so lucky. Well, down go all of the units. These Vulcan do have range. They're able to kill off just basically everything. It's 2 snipers versus a whole bunch of crap. I don't think they'll ever get it. This fortress will eventually fall. Who will fall first? Probably the Vulcan. Which means the sniper will get online Phoenix pretty early. And if that tower drops, he's gonna... Oh, there's 2 snipers here. Kill the tower. Tower drops. Sniper needs to shoot down that melting point very quickly. He gets it. Can 2 snipers take out what appears to be 6 Phoenix? 7 Phoenix? Probably not. Especially not while they're weakened. And this fortress is not in a position to tank for them. Snipers running out in front of their units, and that's that. Some Phoenix damage coming out here on Suka. Fresh Pro able to take out just enough units. Ooh, gee Louie. Underground threat for Fresh Pro. I don't know. I mean, do either of them need the senior attack specialist? I don't think so right now, honestly. But that tank production could be quite good. It's expensive, but you actually get a surprising number of tanks. There isn't a giant unit in the back line, though. So why I like the tanks, and I've been warming up to them a little bit more, is let's say I have a melting point. There's several units throughout here, blah, blah, blah. Each round maybe lasts a minute. Maybe a minute and a half. That could potentially be... Yeah, we do see the tanks coming out here. That could be quite a few extra tanks. And not only that, more importantly, they get shot instead of my giant unit. And tanks actually have a significant number of HP. Now, we'll have to check and see if these tanks are level 2 or not. I don't think they will be, but let's double check. Snipers get the range. Quite good. Still nothing on the flanks. Ooh, yep, there is a crawler on the flank. Crawler on the flank. That's $100 wasted. Good. So the way that I like to think about this is that if I play flanking units, the first turn, if they use the $50, not so great. Next turn, they use another $50. Fantastic. If they do it 3 turns in a row, I've made a benefit. Or if they have to use it for a stopgap for momentarily and then place a unit down there, even better, because then I'm dictating what units they're playing and where those units are being played. Lots of snipers coming out here. Those snipers are not going to be loving life for a moment, just because all of these crawlers are going to delay them. Out come the crawlers. There is a unit of crawlers to kind of protect, and these storm crawlers do give a good screening. Alright, they didn't do a lot, but they pulled a lot of damage away from where it should be. Melting point on the left is on... Oh, and the right are both on the correct target at this point. Those tanks literally did nothing. I didn't see a single tank shot come out. They may have done something, but... Now it's up to these marksmen. There's a lot of marksmen, and luckily the marksmen are have range. The one on the left is unfortunately shooting at a Vulcan. It will never kill it. The ones on the right will eventually get the Vulcan. And they'll get some Phoenix, but there's too many Phoenix, and the melting point just has way too much HP. This is going to be... It's probably GG here for Suko. No, he has 1,600 health. 12, 16. Ooh, he might survive by 56 HP. Let's find out if I can math. 1, 2, 3. I can math. Wow, wow, wow. Range spec would be enormously powerful for both players. Same with this incendiary, actually. We'll see. Smoke bomb's quite good, but I don't think Suko can play for 2 turns. Wow, Fresh Pro skipping. Suko could turn this around with some range. Extra 12 range on these snipers would be huge. Instead, Suko goes with the smoke. Pop smoke right across the front. Make sure that these melting points aren't killing your fortresses. The fortress, there's really not a huge amount of point to them at this point. Honestly, they're just shields. I would consider putting a Vulcan or some other wave clear unit near the front. There's the smoke. It will help. It's not great, but it will help. But having a Vulcan or something else here to clear away just this mass amount of crawlers would really be important. Right now, the only thing that's important is that these marksmen are able to get online. Let's see if it will work. There's the shielding. Is there another shield here? Yes, there is. So these melting points are perfectly guarded. These are literally the only ranged units on the ground. These 4 are the only ranged units. That's crazy. Alright, let's see what happens. Lots of missiles. Lots of missiles. Okay, too many missiles, maybe. Upgraded unit of what? Fang? Maybe an upgraded unit of Fang there. Honestly, not a bad choice. This upgraded Fang do quite well. Man, those shields just don't last. Oh, that tank. That tank was very important. It actually saved that fortress for a second. These Vulcan have to be so happy with themselves. They've gotten so many kills. They're doing great stuff and things. There's nothing here to really take out these... Man, if those crawlers had died just like 5 seconds earlier, then all of these snipers would have been online so much sooner. But they're not. The crawlers are just able to tank so much damage. And now these Phoenix are able to get in here and clean up the snipers before the rest of these units die. Suko needed something to kill crawlers, not, you know, entirely, but just fast enough for the snipers to have time to look up and shoot those units. Really rough here. Great job by Flesh Pro. Hope to see him in the finals. Congratulations to both players. If you're enjoying this, please like and subscribe as we move on to what may be the quarterfinals, or the right before the semifinals. Life is Pain versus Slin. Let's take a look-see. Man, this is a great start for Life is Pain. And same with the heavy armor. The heavy armor specialist hasn't been picked up as much. He goes with the supply. Slin might go with the cost control. He does. All right. Well, once again, we're going to have the economies. We have seen Slin win a very recent game. We're going to watch him through this tournament a little bit. Life is Pain, actually playing for this. The reason I didn't go with other players is that they're currently streaming, and I didn't want to impose on them. Unless I know the streamer, I tend not to go over their streamed games, just because I feel like that's a little rude, you know. We have a lot of Marksman and a lot of a headbutt coming in here. I think this is actually a wise decision, because these Arclight Stormcaller is very, very slow. So having a few of these guys out, or having your units played aggressively, is probably best for Life is Pain. However, Slin does manage to get some chaff of his own. He has a lot of good chaff clear. It's going to be pretty rough. And it kicks off. Let's see what happens. Man, these Stormcallers are going to miss all of their shots initially. The question is, are there enough... man, these Marksmen are just too far back. If these Marksmen were a little bit closer, they may have been able to get this done. Unfortunately, the right is going to go definitely in the way of our headbutt Life is Pain. The left, not so much. But are there enough crawlers here to win the day is the question. Well, definitely not if the sniper is just shooting crawlers. He'll be able to pick them off slowly. Maybe get another 3 or 4 before he goes down. Nope, doesn't even get one. Little crawler. Oh no, he got tagged. And the slowdown on these crawlers will put the nail in the coffin. Slin will win the first round here. Oh, there's one crawler that's chosen his own annihilation. I'm gonna get a boss. Look at me, blep. Didn't quite make it. Let's see if the Stormcallers are drunk. Little, maybe a little tipsy. And they do go down. What's left? There's apparently something left. Oh, there was a crawler that the Stormcallers couldn't shoot. Life is Pain. Takes a little bit of pain himself. Poor guy. That's a lot of damage. Life is Pain takes the tech spec. Wow, very early. I like to see the tech spec early because I mean, it's good both early game and late game. The shield device is always just a good pickup. Let's see what Slin goes for. He does normally take a few seconds. Life is Pain has already deployed out his units. It is a couple of Phoenix. Wow. And these Phoenix are really far back. There's nothing that shoots up. So Life is Pain wins by at least 400 damage, but... nope. And the Arclights can't even get the upgrade to shoot up. Slin did go with the tech spec. Okay. Well, it should be pretty much the same thing as last time, except now there's a couple of Phoenix who are really, really far back. Lots of damage going out. Not really much to write home about here. We already know the outcome of this one. Life is Pain. I do like to look at this, though, because he really just doesn't have anything over there on the left to slow down these crawlers. He needs a couple of things to deal with chaff. Currently, that's in the form of the Mustang, but the Mustang just aren't enough. A little bit of damage popping out here. No real issue. We'll probably just move on to the next round. Let's see what happens next. Intensive training coming out for Life is Pain. Slin will probably take 30 minutes to figure out what he wants to pick up. I don't mind him taking a while. No, actually he does go with the intensive training. Wow, quick pickup. And a couple of Mustang. Yeah, Mustang are a great answer to everything that's on the field. Life is Pain actually mirroring, grabbing a couple of Stormcallers and a sniper. Potentially. I think that was a sniper there. Or maybe a unit of crawlers. These crawlers are going to be absolutely destroyed as they continue to die against the long range of these Arclights. Mustang, honestly, well, he's got a level 2 Mustang. I was going to say, I just push my Mustang all to one side at least initially. But these Stormcallers may have something to say about these Mustang survival rates. Man, these little crawlers on the flanks really don't make it through. Ooh, and that's a lot of dead Mustang. If all of these Mustang fall, that's going to be that. The Stormcallers are able to pick up a lot of them on the left. Not enough on the right, though. Well, these Phoenix are going to have a heyday. There's 4 Mustang left. Are they going to be enough to kill these 2 Phoenix? It really depends on if there's enough on the ground to protect the Mustang and how quickly the Mustang engage. They're by far the fastest unit, but it looks like they're making the smart decision to go after the other tower. This may save them, as these Phoenix will definitely kill the tower. Oh no, and they target down the Mustang. I was hoping that the Phoenix would come over here and target down the left side, but they do not. Alright, another small win here for Life is Pain. And this is why it's so nice just to have... Man, did you see how fast that thing was shooting? That's why it's so nice just to have an aerial unit or two. Because there's just a chance you win the game. You know, hey, guess what? I had an aerial unit, lol. Wait a minute. Skill specialist? That means that this little intensive training unlocks every single round. Man, that's just a great upgrade. I really like that. What's it going to use it on? Bringing these Phoenix up to level 3. My god, they have a ton of HP now. These Mustang do have range. And there's a unit of crawlers just to distract. These crawlers may die, but may not. Lots and lots of Stormcallers. Is it too many Stormcallers? We'll find out. Yep. Man, those distraction crawlers are very important. Man, all of these Mustang will die, and they're still chasing down these crawlers while they just soar to their own dooms. Good barrage by these Stormcallers, dealing a lot of damage. And there's nothing to stop these Stormcallers from just pushing in and killing off everything on the left. Man, that Dance of the Crawlers, very important. Some of the crawlers even lived. These 2 guys made it out. These level 3 Phoenix are going to be worth a ton of XP for these Mustang. Man, and that's why it's important to have some chaff killing. You know, just having a unit of, let's say, some arc lights, some tanks, barrier coming out for Life is Pain. Is he just going to pop a Vulcan down? The fire and the flames for these Stormcallers, and a fortress. Okay, with the shield. And he used the leveling on it. It can't upgrade now, though. It cannot upgrade now. But next turn it could. Here's the Vulcan counter. Vulcans do not beat Overlords do not beat Fortresses in a straight fight. They don't beat Overlords either. But I do like this. Man, level 4 Mustangs. These guys are just going to cut through everything on the field. And importantly, they can stand in the fire for a little while. He doesn't know about the fire yet, but he should be nervous about it. These crawlers are really, really dead. And there is going to be a very, very quick dead Vulcan as well, most likely. Oh, nope. Dance of the Crawlers. Let's see if it can work. I'd love to see a unit of tanks here and maybe a unit of tanks here, just to absorb all of this damage. Or heck, just put down another fortress. It's like a tank. In the case of chaff killing, it's significantly worse, but it is what it is. Here's the engagement, and those little crawlers do so much. They even drag friendly Mustang through the fire. How terrible is that? These crawlers don't stand a chance, though. And here comes the barrage. Oh, it's a good barrage. Crawlers on the right and left make it in, though. That's a lot of crawlers, and they make it in a big, big way. This little fortress is not able to stand up to the punishment. All of the heavily upgraded Mustang are down. And how long can these Phoenix last? Not long at all. Again, just lacking some wave clear here for Life is Pain. I think the Vulcan may have been a better choice instead of that fortress, but you never know. Maybe I'm incorrect. Laser sights for Life is Pain. Slin, what are you gonna do? Slin grabs the laser sights as well. These fortresses now have the punchy hands. Oh my gosh, and this fortress is level 3. It's going to have a ton of HP. It's backing up the melting point. I think this is a wise decision. All of a sudden, the shield is worthless. I love the punchy hands on the fortresses. It's super good, super fun. If you hear a rumbling outside, it's because there's a rumbling in game as we see more and more of these giant units come out. But there is also like a massive thunderstorm outside, so if the casting gets cut short, that's why. I'd like to see these Mustang continue to upgrade. You know, it's not very often that you see level 4 Mustang, but these guys are getting a lot of kills, and they're dealing a lot of damage. That's awesome. Keep it going, man. Let these little guys freak flag fly. I do like this a lot by Slin. He's realized that his opponent doesn't really seem to care about wave clear. He's relying on these Stormcallers to do it, but also just having some single point wave clear is really, really good. You know, just having some units that, like this Arclight, is just, I think this Arclight's probably killed 90 crawlers at this point. That's insanity. Those crawlers should not be there anymore. Recycle them, get rid of them, change them, do something. But they're in a bad spot. Wow, this fortress dies so quickly. Doesn't stand a chance. There's more than enough chaff here. This is going to be the end of Life is Pain, almost assuredly. The Phoenix are able to do good damage. Don't get me wrong. These Mustang are going to burn in the fire. Wow, these level 4 Mustang able to sit in the fire for a significant amount of time. Actually, are all the Mustang dead? All the Mustang are dead. No, there's one just chilling in the fire. He almost made it. It's going to be this one level 2 Phoenix versus a melting point. I think we all know how that's going to go. Unless this Phoenix kills the tower, marches over, and shoots this melting point probably 4 times, I don't think he's got a chance in heck. There it's dead. The Phoenix doesn't go after the melting point. Phoenix is dead. Life is Pain doesn't die. He just needs wave clear. It's so frustrating when, and I'm not trying to be rude to any player, but it's frustrating when players continue to have the same problem over and over and over again, and they seem to ignore it. Melting point of his own for Life is Pain. Not a bad choice. Melting points will focus down melting points most likely. We'll see how well that works for him. He can upgrade the melting point as well. It's kind of cool that he can upgrade these units every single turn. A lot more crawlers, and actually with the death of this Vulcan, these crawlers are going to be significantly more useful. Not to the point at which I'd put them all right here, because this Vulcan will live for longer than 5 seconds. Where did that melting point go? Is there... No? Where's the melting point? Oh, there it is. I was like, what the heck? Did he just like hide this melting point? Orbital barrage coming down for Slin. I like that. There just seems to be so many more units here for Slin, and that's because there are more entities on the field. And you know what's good about clearing entities? 1, get rid of these crawlers, man. Have something here to kill these crawlers really quickly. 2, position some units in front of the fortress. Some units that aren't immediately going to die to an Arclight. Something like tanks. Or maybe just get a shit ton of Wasps. Well, no, the Wasps would all die to these Mustang. There goes the anti-shield barrage. Dealing a lot of damage here. I do like that. Oh, the melting point's on the Vulcan early. Vulcan goes down. There are several crawlers here. The melting point on the left also died. Alright. This melting point is shooting at completely the wrong units, though. And with that melting point's death, I have to give this once again to Slin. Will it be enough to kill old Life is Pain? Probably. Oh, wow. This Overlord in the background. I remember him putting it down. We just didn't watch it. The Overlord could do a little bit of damage here. Unfortunately, it doesn't have range. These Marksmen, or these Mustangs do. In fact, they have the same range as the Phoenix. Yeah, those Phoenix are mega dead. The Fortress will die. Or Fortress, excuse me. Overlord. Is it enough? Oh my gosh, it's just enough. Great plays here by Slin. Congratulations. And we are in. Mech Warrior versus Slin. We've seen both these guys several times throughout the tournament. It's actually been a fairly small tournament. This is why the video is only 2.5 hours before editing currently. Mech Warrior, wow, has some good hands. Wow, I really like this. Slin, oh, Quick Supply Specialist is looking pretty good here. Same with the Rhino, actually. I do like this Rhino spec more when the units are faster. Goes with the Quick Supply and the Marksman. Am I like 0 or 4 for 4 right now in calling these? I think so. Man, these Stormcallers are really going to make a difference here. Absolutely going to make a difference. And there's a huge combined arms right now. We're getting towards that Steel Symphony that I always talk about. The just having Arclight, Stormcaller, or tanks instead of the Arclights. But Arclight, tanks, Stormcallers, snipers, just exceedingly good. They complement each other really well, and having that strong opening really does help bear down on these things. It looks like Mech Warrior's going for the pretty spread out build here. Interesting. He's kind of pushing towards the front. Not something that you normally see with these units. Slin is taking a moment to kind of get his bearings, choosing to grab another Mustang and a unit of crawlers and the HP. That HP might be crucial for stopping this aggressive Arclight placement. Oh my. Arclight here is going to do a really good job in cleaning up all these units. It may eventually get overwhelmed. It's kind of going to come down to these snipers. If these snipers can get online and in good places early, that could really do it. Here we are. Some crawlers for Mech Warrior. That could be the deciding factor in this sniper war. I'd honestly like to see him play another unit of crawlers over here on the right, just to distract this. Honestly, the longer these units survive, or the longer the units are just distracted, the longer these Stormcallers have to actually deal damage. But we'll find out here in a second. Mech Warrior, ooh, sat on an extra $100 there. Let's see what can happen. Stormcaller shots go out, and they're on the sniper first. Oh, the sniper does get his second shot off. It was only on a little crawler, though, and this Arclight's going to go to town. Able to chew through a ton of units. That's going to be a very decisive win here for Mech Warrior. I don't think that there's anything on the field that can deal with all of these crawlers anymore. Especially not crawlers backed up by a full legion of support. These Mustang might get the tower. And honestly, if they do, that would be worth it. They're at 550 right now. Let's see how much the tower is worth. Whoopsies. I was looking at the wrong unit. We will never know. I don't remember what the tower is worth anymore. If you do remember, tell me in the comments, because there's a lot of things that change in this game between patches, and I would love to know more. Lots of damage coming out here for these crawlers. They do get the second tower. Do they get a level? Yeah, they do. Very important. Actually, having some level 2 crawlers early is really, really nice. They absorb a lot of damage that you normally just wouldn't think about. More importantly, their attack increases. Ooh, supply spec this early is huge. This could be a big advantage if one player takes it and the other does not. This Wasp Swarm is great for both players. Not so much here for Mech Warrior, honestly. But having some Wasps in your own backline spawn out, wait for everything to die, and then the Wasps can get in there. Mech Warrior skips. Slin takes the 50. All right. It's going to be a slow and bloody process. Let's see if Slin can eventually win this out. If the game goes on longer than 3 or 4 rounds, it'd be very useful. Once again, we have the Dancing Crawlers by Slin. I do like this. Vulcan coming out on the right here. Very good choice. I like it a lot. Let's see. Mech Warrior still has 50 bucks. Slin still has 50 bucks. Slin plays out... Sorry, Mech Warrior plays out a sentry. I think he's worried about anti-air in case of those wasps. He's very lucky that the wasps aren't out, or else he'd definitely lose, seeing how he only has 1 unit that shoots up. A unit of wasps would really win this in the way for Slin. This Vulcan is going to be great. It's going to clear everything up. No, the Vulcan going out on the right. Or on the left here, slightly misplaced. That's unfortunately not going to be the best place here for Slin. Oh no, he puts it back. Okay, Mech Warrior's Vulcan may actually kill all these units, turn, and then kill Slin's little crawlers. This sniper out here is really only just to kill one arc light. I'm not sure if that's worth it. But he'll make that decision for himself. Bam, the Vulcan's out. And it's just going to kill everything. This is an angry Vulcan. Wow. It literally just kills everything. These crawlers are all chasing. And they get the that sentry. Honestly, those crawlers definitely were worth it. It was a big investment early, but definitely worth it. I think this Vulcan may be able to just kill everything by itself at this point, though. Especially how it still has crawler support and these Stormcrawlers. Wow, if those guys weren't wounded from the tower drop, they would have just iced that sniper really easily. But now they have the range, they will start icing snipers very easily. Alright, dead and deader. That is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate here for Slin. That Vulcan really made a difference. Holy crap, did it kill a lot of units. Killing 39 units already. That's a spicy meatball. Tech spec for Mech Warrior. He can afford the tech spec. No, well, I guess he kind of can, kind of can't. He skipped a turn, so that $50 is worth it. Slin actually has the extra cash here. Here comes another Vulcan. All right, we're seeing a pretty similar setup. Knowing that these crawlers kind of have to go this way, I would have put my Vulcan closer to the center. Just because it's going to burn some of these guys and then run the wrong way. Or put an arc light right here, just so that it can kill these little crawlers. The quicker these crawlers die, the better. Slin still has a lot of money, and he opts to go with some Fang. I think that's a... Oh, Mech Warrior grabbed the Fang. Man, I don't know what's going on with me. Where are these Fang going? Hello, little Fang? Where did you put them? I don't see them. Is this like hidden Fang? Oh no, they're right in front of the Vulcan. Actually, very good. They'll both get... The Fang will die in one barrage, almost certainly. But it delays one barrage, and the shield is very powerful, as the only shield breaker here are these Stormcrawlers, but they're not upgraded. I think this could go in the way of Slin, because of the possible better positioning of these units. But we'll find out. An extra Vulcan can go a long way, and the anti-Vulcan is pretty much in the form of Stormcrawlers and Snipers. Which is pretty good, don't get me wrong. It's pretty good anti-Vulcan. But we'll see if these Vulcan have enough HP to weather the storm. The shield is almost down, halfway there. Vulcan is able to absorb a lot of damage here, and this sniper can go out and do the damage it needs to do. Vulcan does drop before the shield drops. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's a lot of units left, and there isn't really a lot of anything left here for old Mech Warrior. The Vulcan lives, though. Stompy, stompy Vulcan. And with the death of the tower, these crawlers are actually able to make it into these Mustang. A very good barrage by the Stormcrawlers, though. Actually thinking they killed off every single one of those crawlers. Meanwhile, the drunk Stormcrawlers missed 2 Marksmen, or missed 2 Mustang, only hitting 1. And that's probably going to be it. That is definitely going to be it as the tower drops. Good plays here by both players. That shield dying is important, but now now Mech Warrior knows about the shield, and he needs to think, wow, I don't really have that much high damage to take out these shields quickly. Good DPS on the Vulcan, but they do suffer against shields. Ooh, wow. These two are very useful for both players. The orbital or this mobilized battleship a little bit less likely to be useful for Mech Warrior. This sniper could use an upgrade. I don't know if he'll get it though. I'm sure that isn't the most concerning. Mech Warrior goes with the incendiary. Pop it right across the top here. It's tough. This is most likely where the shield will go. Stormcrawlers get an upgrade. I do like that in case of shields. Pop Stormcrawlers. Let's get a couple of crawlers here in the center. Wow, there's a lot of Stormcrawlers coming out here for Slin. Here's some crawlers. Yeah, put a crawler right down the center, bud. Perfect. And then make it run. Do the Macarena as well. Go Mech Warrior, go. These crawlers are actually going the other way. Might lead to their downfall. If the Vulcan ever gets range, those crawlers are all just destitute. But we'll find out. There's some Phoenix coming out here for Mech Warrior. Phoenix Vulcan, we've seen it several times throughout this. Yeah, and that's what I was worried about. Dropping the fire there is okay, but this is the most likely the spot for for shielding. A little bit of extra damage. That will help him get through the shields a little bit. Just a little bit. That 93 damage, it's not a lot. More, it's this upgraded Stormcallers that will really help. The fire might still pop here and here. Which if it does, it does. Oh, and a couple of the Mustang just kiss the fire. They should. 1 or 2, 3 or 4. Some of them die in the fire. Kind of worth it. Meanwhile, the orbital bombardment absolutely decimates this left-hand side. And these Phoenix don't have a chance in hell. Absolutely getting crushed. No shields here. Lots of shields. These shields are making a difference. And in fact, having the shield here survive on the left for Slin is really, really important. As that shield absorbed half its health, 20,000 damage. That's 20,000 damage that's restored next turn. That must feel good. Mech Warrior's taking a kicking. This is about as even of a game as we can get. 2,800 HP versus 29,000 or 2,900 HP. Amp Core versus Senior Attack Specialist. I like this Amp Core, but I think the Senior Attack Specialist is a little bit more useful at this stage in the game. Just because having all of your units do a little bit more damage is probably better than one unit doing 70% more damage. But we'll find out here in a moment. There's the oil. It's destroyed again if another shield comes out, though. And Slin has shown that, hey, he realizes shields are great. Shields are really, really good against Vulcan. Until Mech Warrior deploys a lot of Stormcallers, these shields are going to do a great job. Let's see if Slin does shield up again. There's some more crawlers on the left. Ooh, and wasps. I was waiting for the wasps. There's literally only 3 units that shoot up. A unit of Phoenix and a sniper. This Vulcan going up to 314 damage a tick is kind of important. Really, the only reason that this needs to happen is because it can't get through the shields. Otherwise, it just has a big amount of health now, which I guess is good. This Vulcan is unfortunately alone and without a prayer. More Stormcallers, more Mustang. Slin has a very good combined army. And you know what's great about having a bunch of different units that do a bunch of different things? Is it really locks out how quickly your opponent can transition. Oh, should I go with Overlords? Well, there's 4 units of Mustang on the field. And some snipers. Okay, should I go with Mass Tank? Well, there's a lot of Stormcallers and some Wasps. Just having that always being a burden is a real issue. Bam. Burn, baby, burn, though. That's going to be a lot of dead units very quickly. The left is definitely going to fall, but the right goes in the way of Mech Warrior. Can Slin's units push through here on the left quick enough? I don't think so. Down goes the tower. This Vulcan may eventually get through the shield. Maybe. Stormcaller shots are not great. And they do. It gets through the shield. And this is a big win here. Oh no, if the Vulcan dies. Oh, that's 400 damage. I'm sure old Mech Warrior would have loved to have. But that's okay. Oh, and the Marksman even lives. Man, drunk Stormcallers. Bam. Mech Warrior's got a little bit of an advantage now, but he won't have that oil for a little while. Tank production's basically useless. Senior manufacturing's kind of good. I do rate it, especially if you're already a giant specialist. Neither player is a giant specialist, so they'll both probably opt for the Voton. Let's see what they go for. Wow, these Vulcan could level up. But I hope he doesn't. Oh, he does level them. Poor Mech Warrior. He doesn't realize that these melting points are a great answer. An absolutely perfect answer in this case. Lots of Mustang. I like this. A couple units of Mustang are great. And upgrading these arc lights. Okay. Hey, they're doing enough to deserve an upgrade. You know, that's the way I look at my units. If they have the little flashy above their head, it means that they're dealing damage. So I might as well upgrade them. You know, especially if I'm not able to quite see what it is that happened. It's kind of like playing chess where all of a sudden your pieces all fight for you. That's what an auto battler is, Joe. Thank you so much for explaining that to us. I know. Shut up. Lots of shields. Still not really much to deal with these shields. He has 2 Stormcallers. I'd like to see another 2 Stormcallers here for Mech Warrior at the very least. just to pound down shields quickly. That way the Vulcan can actually do something. This Vulcan is definitely going to die very quickly. The one on the left may survive for a moment longer, but unfortunately, Melting Point is angry and hungry. It will eat a couple of these little Fang. It's getting distracted for a moment. The distraction is good. Shield's down. Shield holds on the left. Oh, it's not looking good for these Vulcan. Is there enough single point damage? Honestly, yes on the right. Not on the left. And there's a lot more units on the left, that's for sure. Down goes all of the units on the left. In comes old Slin. And in comes Slim. A comedy special. Oh, no. Okay, good. I was going to say, if these Stormcallers overshoot, they could easily take out the backline Stormcallers. These Stormcallers, if they come online early, oh, they're going after a sniper. I was going to say, if they actually did this right, they could go after these Mustang, but instead, they're going to get some of them. The Vulcan will actually clean up all of them. That's pretty nice. Kind of. It's taken a while. It does clear all of them. It'll get a sniper. Okay. Hey, and this one little Stormcaller might end up killing this Melting Point. Oh my god, it does. Is he going to win this? There's no way. Mech Warrior might actually win this. Stormcaller comes online. It will be the first one to shoot. Maybe. No. And it missed every single shot. Okay, Mech Warrior did lose, but only by a small amount. Honestly, I thought he would just die, but no. He only lost by like 400 points. That's not bad. Photon emission coming out for Slin. Deployment for Mech Warrior. I like the deployment. Moving. Yeah, get that boy out of there. Emergency Vulcan maneuvers. That's quite fun. Oh my god, this Vulcan's now level 4. Dealing 629 damage a tick. It actually will carve through this Melting Point pretty quickly. And with the Burninator. That's quite good. 90 units lose 6% of their HP. You know, it doesn't feel like it does that much damage, but it does help a little bit against the Giants. It's not much, but it's a little bit. These shields are persistent for Slin, and I like it. Don't know about these Wasps for Mech Warrior, though. Oh, there's another unit of Stormcallers. Yes, baby, yes. This will help a lot. Just blast out some more damage downfield. Double Arclight coming out here for Slin as well. He's realized that the problem is that there's a lot of chaff. And all of his important units are shooting at the wrong things. Really, the only two damage dealers on the field are a couple of Stormcallers and one Sniper and two Phoenix. One unit of Phoenix, I should say. Oh, I do like this. Having the Wasps just block a couple of shots for the Phoenix are good. Alright, this Vulcan's in a great place just to clean up all of these little crawlers. And it does so in a big, big way. This shield melts so quickly. Wow. And the Vulcan's going to charge in. Vulcan on the left and center is actually, or sorry, the center and the right are doing very well. Clearing up tons and tons of units. This is actually the #1 killer. Well, there's certainly a lot more units. Blammo. That's a lot of dead boys. Is there anything left that shoots up, though? No. So, that's that. I think old Slin here has to win. But he'll only win by a marginal amount, if he wins at all. It really comes down to how quickly this Melting Point does the shooting. Blammo, blammo. Go the Stormcaller. Stormcaller war. It's looking pretty good. Vulcan won't be able to do much here. And this is going to be a much more convincing win for Slin. A win for Slin. Delicious. What a good name. What an absolutely great name. This is a ton of damage. Wow, this Vulcan, man. It deals so much damage. That's incredible. Able even to kill the Melting Point. I mean, what do you do against such reckless hate? Not much, unfortunately. Barrier. That barrier is very important for Mech Warrior. Honestly, the barrier could be useful for Slin as well, but the Ion Blast is also just really good. Both players grabbing the barrier. Barrier, barrier. It saves you money over time. This Vulcan's now level 5, clocking in at 786 damage a tick. It will just melt any unit it touches. And it has so much HP. There's a third Vulcan with the shield. Okay. Where's he going to put it? over in the back line. Okay. Not a bad spot for it. Just to come in a little later. All of his units have increased range here for Mech Warrior. Slin still sitting on 600 bucks. Mech Warrior sitting on 400. I think some more Stormcallers or Snipers might be useful for both players. Or maybe just a little bit more anti-air here for Mech Warrior. Could be useful. Maybe just 2 more units of Mustang. Wow. Going a little heavy on the right there, bud, but I don't mind it. Having this new Vulcan here with a shield is quite good. It will protect a lot of damage. This fire is useless. Well, maybe not. It will land over here on the left. Honestly, what I've done in the past is just play the fire right on the units. Like, just put it like, meh, right here somewhere. I don't know. He's known that these shields are coming up all the time on the left and right. So, Mech Warrior, I'd consider that. Oh, some Fang. Some unplaced Fang. Good enough. The burning happens. And boy, oh boy, is it a burning. That is a huge burning. Man, look how quickly that melting point drops. Jeez, who's the melting point? Wait a minute. Why did that melting point get de-aggroed? That's crazy. Somehow that melting point was getting shot, and then all of a sudden, the Vulcan stopped shooting it. I'm not sure why. That's super weird. I have never seen that happen before. And I've played a lot of this game. I've cast a lot of this game. I've never seen a unit stop shooting at a unit and then shoot something else. It may have just been that melting point was in the AoE range. That's what I'm going to go with. Man, these melting points do not have a lot of HP against these reckless Stormcallers. That's going to be a very decisive win for Slin, though. Bang. Can Mech Warrior pull this back? That melting point has surely earned itself a level. Yeah, both melting points have. Speed Specialist for Mech Warrior. Ion Blast for Slin. I think there needs to be just a little bit more single point damage here for Mech Warrior. He goes with Wasps. And the oil. Last time this did really catch old Mech Warrior, or sorry, old Slin off guard. But there is almost always a shield here, and there's the shield. Oil will not land. It will stick around for a little while, but improved speed, more units. The burninating for the Vulcan. How much damage is this Vulcan doing now? 317. That's a lot of damage. Mech Warrior, you need shields, dude. You know the orbital bombardment's coming. You can tell on your opponent that orbital bombardment has been used before. Get some shields. I know that this whatever it is will kill your shields very quickly, but it's important, man. Wow, Mech Warrior burning the midnight oil. Let's see if it counts. There's another melting point. These melting points are extremely good against the Vulcan. And the Vulcan being the main and pretty much only source of damage here. At least single point damage. Or, well, actually, there isn't really any single point damage to speak of. There's what? A sniper? And 1 unit of Phoenix, if memory serves. Yeah, they're still there. Crawlers! Let's go deep. Alright. I do like the distraction crawlers. Honestly, having some distraction crawlers right here. Oh my god, some crawlers right here would be so good. So good. Here comes the Ion. It's reckless. Oh my god, it deals so much damage. Does the... Yes. The Vulcan does kill the melting point. That's all he needed. There's a couple of Wasps. The sniper has to kill the Wasps. It did. Down goes the tower. Everything's on fire. Melting points are being killed by Vulcan. That's not something you see very often, but it is happening. It's going to be Stormcallers versus Stormcallers, but these Stormcallers came with some buddies, some very thick buddies. That's a level 3 Vulcan, baby. This level 1, this guy's going to be level 6. That's just madness. And a good amount of damage is going to be coming out here for old Mech Warrior, evening it out with Slin once again. Oh my god, they're neck and neck in this game. Jesus. How can this be a thing? You can tell this game's gone on for a while because there's 61 other viewers. Oh, Lord. Oh, let's see. Lightning Storm could be good. Nuke could be good. I like the Lightning Storm a little bit more than the Nuke, if I'm honest with you. I think Slin is smart to pick this up. His opponent is just not shielding up very much. Does Mech Warrior also grab it? Mech Warrior does grab it. He doesn't have a huge amount of HP. Or doesn't have a huge amount of money. Neither of them have a huge amount of HP. Shield, shield, shield. Come on, baby. Shield, shield, shield. It's all about those shields. Lightning Storm's going to do a huge amount of damage here. Give me some crawlers on the right side as well, Mech Warrior. Give me some crawlers or something on the flanks here, Slin. Just put like a unit of wasps right here or something. I don't know, man. I just hate to see these flanks that are perfectly open here not being utilized. The exceedingly tough Vulcan at level 6. That is just crazy. Mech Warrior is shielding. I would shield up so much, seeing that there was a nuke and a lightning storm, and I'm almost dead. This is very much Mechabellum. The end of the world should be coming here for both players. What is this? Oil. Oil here from Slin. It won't activate, but it might activate. This Vulcan might burn the oil on his own guys. Actually, that's a very good use of the oil if it does happen. This might be a great play here from Slin. Mech Warrior drops out some more cash and a ton more shields. He's really worried about the nuke. Rightly so, too. Here comes the Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is very important here on the left, just because there's a lot more slow-moving units like Stormcallers, like Mustang, to be targeted by it. Man, this is a great placement here. These little melting points getting a lot of damage done. After everything settles, it looks like this is going to go in the way of Slin, as these melting points have so much range. Oh, they're cooking him. How could they do this to our beautiful boys? Blep. That was a level 1 melting point, by the way. It just goes to show, melting points don't really need a lot of levels. They just kind of are. They do a lot of damage. Is it enough to kill him? Oh my god, just enough. Great plays by both players. Let's see what the final has in store for us. I hope Ender did move forward. Good for Enderzoa. Yeah, if you haven't checked out Enderzoa's Twitch yet, please go do so. He's a very good player. I'm not sure if this will be his first championship, but he has played in many, many tournaments. These are our two handsome men going in against each other. We'll find out who's going to be our champion in the next round. Here it is, everybody. Enderzoa versus Slin. Once again, please go check out Endo's channel if you haven't already seen it. Man, we have watched Slin push through thick and thin this tournament. I gotta say, I'm getting a little bit of a favorite here. Ender going with the Marksman Arclight Stormcaller. Jeez, it doesn't get much stronger than that. Slin, Giant Spec? He gets the Giant Spec. Man, 5 for 5, I think. Yeah. This is looking pretty rough here for Ender. Or for Slin. Ender's army is just insanely good against his. Just insanely good. I like these these Mustang on the flanks, though. Just shuts down so much early aggression, and I think that's a very wise decision. Ender's got a very good ragtag group of units, and he can easily pop out a couple of crawlers just to have some bodies as well. He does. Very standard opening. Slin, what are you doing in this chess match, my man? I'm not sure he can do anything at this point. Oh, maybe pop down. I don't know. I would say tanks would be good, but it's too early to really go into tanks, and they're kind of half countered already. Going with Marksman of his own. He's going to try and plink off these arc lights. I think that's a wise decision, and probably his best option. I have to give it to Ender right now, though. Ender having this level 3 Marksman is really good. Slin can deploy a Giant next turn to try and make up for this. I'm not sure what Giant he would want. Maybe an Overlord, just because he could deploy it over here on the left where there is not currently sniper support. To his knowledge, once that happens. Oh my god, this Stormcaller barrage is huge. Killing the sniper, taking out a huge amount of crawlers, and dealing a lot of damage to the Mustang. Yeah, this is good night, Irene. This poor little Marksman has so much work to do. And oh my gosh, I'd say 2/3 of old Enderzoa's army does make it through. Jeez, that's a lot of damage in the early game for Slin. Nearly 1,000 damage. Jeez Louise, that's not the kind of damage you want to take early on. Oh, Missile Strike is huge here for Slin. Not so great for Enderzoa. Haste module's good. The thing about the missile is it's free, but these other things keep on giving every single round. So I understand why players like to pay for it, just because it does work every single round. Ender actually goes with it, goes with the little missile here. He could potentially get 2, maybe 3 units with it. Going over on this side, yeah, getting rid of those Mustang is more important than the crawlers, I would think. Probably, oh, I don't know. Shield. Shield's early here from Enderzoa. I think he's worried about the missile as well. Little does he know, my man Slin doesn't pick up your silly missiles. Except I think he has earlier in the tournament. Fang unlocked for Enderzoa. Slin played out a huge amount of crawlers. Let's see if it's enough. Man, that missile really did a lot of damage. And luckily, I'm pretty sure the shield won't even get ticked, like 1 thing of damage. But it will be there for the next coming rounds. So I guess that's a little win-win. Actually, it might take a no, I don't think these shields will take a single pip of damage. Well, hey, you have persistent shields now. Always shields. I hope that this marksman doesn't die too quick. It doesn't. Good. The reason I say the marksman doesn't die too quick, that allowed Ender's crawlers just to get a little bit of XP for killing off the tower. Tower death is a good death. Slin already down to about a little bit more than half his HP. Ender goes with the orbital. Man, Ender might just crush this out. I hope Slin's able to come back a little bit. The speed specialist could be really useful here for Slin, just to get his units in there a little bit quicker, but his opening hand was such a crushing defeat against Enderzoa's current just mass army. Slin goes with a Vulcan. We've seen so many Vulcans here in the past. The Vulcan definitely wants to be on the left-hand side. He doesn't want to be touched by that marksman. No, he pops it on the right to get kissed by the marksman. Let's see if it makes a difference. More crawlers here by Enderzoa. He doesn't know about the marksman, or about the Mustang. So I would be surprised that, or he doesn't know about the Vulcan. Jesus Christ! Lots of snipers. The sniper's basically dead. All of the units on this side are dead very quickly, except for this Vulcan. But the Vulcan will be plinked down slowly by this marksman. It probably will take, I don't know, a dozen shots. Well, not a dozen. It'll take about 7 shots for this marksman to kill it. But eventually, the marksman will do enough damage to bring it down. Let's see how it goes. 20 seconds left. Both players sitting on 50 to 100 bucks at the end of the round. Little crawlers down the center just to delay things. Oof, some really good missile shots here. Really, really good missile shots. This Vulcan's going to do a great job at clearing away the chaff in the center and on the right. A lot of chaff here on the left, though. Make it through. Shield took a little bit of damage. And this marksman's sitting right on the edge of it. Oh my god, this arc light, being level 2, just absorbed so much damage. There were even crawlers able to get in there and kiss it. Oh my god, Slin. Slin is in such a bad shape. Oh, he's in the danger zone. Will he die? This is it. This is for all the money. Haste module for Slin. Range specialist for Ender. 2 Vulcan. Lots of range on the arc lights. Interesting choice. Just to clear away this chaff even quicker. There's not a lot of ranged abilities or single point damage here for Ender, and he's not really seeming to be worried about it. I would be a little worried about it. If these Vulcan can start to get away from you, they can do a lot of damage. I wonder if Ender thinks that Slin will kind of move away from the Vulcan, given that there isn't a huge amount of chaff for him to be killing. We shall find out. There's a good amount of marksmen. 3 marksmen. Slin thinks he's about to die. I think Slin's about to die too, so he grabs another Stormcaller. Wise decision here. There's not a lot of fast-moving units besides the crawlers, which should be eaten up by the Vulcan. So now having a little bit more ranged DPS on your flank would be very useful. Oh my god, for some reason these Stormcallers doing a weird kind of boogie-oogie. One of them sticking its head out, and it will die. Crawlers all die in this horrible little massacre on the left. Stormcallers do get the arc lights. Man, that's very good. Oh, and this Vulcan's able to just run through with the haste module. Look at him go. Stompy, stompy, stompy. Man, that's a fast-moving Vulcan. This looks like it may be a win here. The first win for Slin, but there's a lot of snipers and crap on the left side. Stormcallers are inside the shields. They need to kill these ooh, they might get these snipers in time. They just might. The shield hasn't fallen yet. Before Stormcaller walks out, it dies. Shield lives for a second. It might still live through this barrage. Oh, and it just dies. That's unfortunate here for Slin. But hey, he won. He won a round. It took the burning of the midnight oil, but it's not bad. Shield device specialist here for Slin. Ender goes with the shields as well. Just makes these Vulcans significantly worse. Lots of upgraded Stormcallers to get through shields quicker. I like that. Also, I love this stompy Vulcan. Moving at 14 speed. Wow, wow, wow. I didn't realize that Vulcan moved so quickly. I mean, compare that to a Marksman who moves at 11. It's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Lots more Stormcallers. I like this. Slin doesn't seem to be putting out very many new units. It's a little worrying. That is a little worrying. Ooh, he will block this little missile, though. 2 snipers. A good choice here. I'm not sure the snipers... Well, the snipers will survive. That's good. And I think the snipers are here to try and get rid of these arc lights. That's my best bet for these little guys. There isn't really much counter-snipering to be done here, but there's some. More importantly, there's a lot of level 2 Stormcallers on the field now. And those level 2 Stormcallers will just munch through everything that's online. 2 shields. These shields will take a little bit longer to crack through because of the 40% increased HP. Unfortunately, for Slin, level 2 Stormcallers munch shields. Just absolutely munch them. Neither player opting to upgrade their Stormcallers yet. Stormcallers with range are pretty darn good. Here comes the missile. It might tag... Yeah, it does get 1 Stormcaller. Hey, it's something, right? Outgo the Stormcaller barrages. Whose shield will drop faster? It looks like Ender's shield will drop faster on the right, but meanwhile, these Vulcan all get targeted down and die. And Vulcan actually don't do very well against Stormcallers. Because they're very chunky units. They just don't have the oomph. This is looking pretty convincing here for Ender Zoa. Just a ton of missiles. Slin does... I don't know if he'll live through this. He does have a couple of Mustang. Those anti-missiles would have been very good here. No. That's that. Ender Zoa takes the championship very convincingly. Check out his Twitch. He is a professional gamer and a good one at that. Great job by Slin. He played some fantastic games. You hate to see a player lose, but my God, did he really put a lot of effort in. That opening hand was tough for him. GG. We have it. Our winner, Ender Zoa versus Slin. Patsuman came in 3rd. GCU ended up in 5th. Mech Warrior ended up all the way down in 7th. That's a shame. He played really well. Congratulations to all the players who did play throughout the tournament. I really appreciate you taking the time to come in here and give us your best. GG all around. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe, and we will see you all so shortly.